Hello. I'm sitting down and I'm going to start talking, and I'm going to try and release this video without editing it. My inspiration for this is a guy called Andy Edwards, who's a kind of music commentator on jazz rock, prog rock, that kind of stuff. He's a drummer, used to play with Robert Plant. Great guy. His role model is Rick Beato. Well, my role model is now Andy Edwards. My role model used to be Mary Spender, a British guitarist and singer, but I've now moved on, and I have now started a Patreon page, and so one of the things I want to do is just do pieces to camera like this, not just set piece music that I've written and performed and put out there. So yeah. What Andy does is he sits down with half an idea of what he's going to talk about, but he's got an inbuilt grumpy old man slag everything off, but with great humour, and he's a very erudite man as well. I'm not sure that I'm a very erudite man, but I'm also not uneducated, so that's okay, hopefully. So what's going on at the moment? So the Patreon page has been up for probably a month now, and I have 8 people. I don't want to call them Patreons because there's no such thing, that's a made up word, or patrons. I suppose I'm going to call them supporters, and I've posted quite a lot. Every time I've created a new musical piece, I've been posting it on my Patreon page in a sort of 3/4 finished state with my thoughts of where it might go next. And thereafter it usually goes up on Bandcamp, YouTube, Instagram sometimes, and SoundCloud. And I have to say that the response on SoundCloud is the most interesting. Not least because of the geography. The people who listen to my stuff on SoundCloud are absolutely global. I mean, there are not that many, not many listeners or viewers, but they are in places that I have to go and look up because I've never heard of a lot of them, because they're in Pakistan or Chile or somewhere like that, Vanuatu. And Canada is a place that's listening to me. Anyway, but SoundCloud is a bit odd because you get people liking what you put out without actually playing it. Now, some of these are scantily clad women, or at least some of these are people whose thumbnail is a scantily clad woman. They're probably just Russian bots, really. Anyway, I just ignore them. So yeah, the other thing is I've had an idea going on in the back of my mind for some time now about trying to be innovative, not just in the kind of music, the style of music and the flavour of some of the soloing or some of the backing and rhythms. I'm also trying to be innovative in that I want to write words which are about things other than love, loss, misery, cars, and I've had an idea in the back of my mind for some time. I originally thought it was going to be either a short story or a novel, but maybe it could be a poem or even a song, and it's about a future where mankind has had to migrate from planet Earth, and they found a Goldilocks planet close enough, and they have colonized it. And when the scene in my mind starts, it has been colonised for some time, maybe 30, 40, 50 years. And the whole planet is India, by which I mean that the whole planet has a unitary set of beliefs, and they're the Hindu pantheon of gods, plus cultural stuff like food and so on. And this is just, in my imagination. And so they've already done quite a bit of carving out of images of the gods and I've probably forgotten a lot of their names, but basically Shiva and Vishnu, the destroyer and the creator, aspects of Brahma, Kali, Ganesh, the elephant-headed, and their so-called vehicles. So the small animal. In the case of Shiva, it's a bull. In the case of Ganesh, it's a mouse. I'm getting down into the weeds here. Anyway, so those are my thoughts, and I may pretty soon put some sort of words around that idea, that future imagined science fiction world building idea. I haven't thought about Pakistan though. Where will Pakistan be? It won't be unified, I don't think, because if I make it unified, then that's a bit of an insult to the Muslim state of Pakistan as it is now. So maybe it's going to be a planet nearby, or even a satellite of India, but to be more equal, I think a planet nearby. And probably they've managed to ship over their nukes, so they're still pointing at each other. Anyway, there we go. I have developed a backing track, and I've tried all kinds of different words to it, different kinds of improvisational solos to finish it off. It's based on perhaps the most wonderful funk riff ever invented, written and performed by the Staples Singers for their song I'll Take You There. So that's what it's based on. I've simplified that riff, and I've sung all kinds of things to it, but nothing really grabs me as being interesting enough to put out there. One thing I might do is to make it completely instrumental and play the finishing stuff on this Moog synthesizer, which I acquired about 3 months ago, I think now. But what I've done is, you know, the kind of the world of guitar playing in popular music, and by that I basically mean electric guitars, acoustic guitars to some extent, has moved away from being a music industry, and I think it's really a sort of hobby now for a lot of people. People my age and around my age, either side, can now afford guitars which they couldn't afford when they were young. And so there's an industry where middle-aged men buy good expensive guitars and play them and go on YouTube playing them. And then there's also some young people coming up who are basically virtuoso, incredibly fast guitarists. But they're not really, if you look at popular music now, they're not really guitarists heavily featured at all. And maybe as AI gradually takes over more and more, there will be even fewer, and the instrument may be left to us guys, men and women of a certain age. This is a preamble and a kind of an avoidance to talk about something, which is that I have just bought another guitar. I have no justification for it, but I have. And so here it is. It is a Gibson Les Paul Studio from 2016. It was for sale in the town where I live, Lillestrøm, and so I was able to cycle over to the guy, meet him, and try out the guitar. It's a sort of matte silk finish version of the Gibson Studio. Mahogany body, maple top, mahogany neck, sort of old-fashioned chunky neck, and the pickups, I'm not sure if they're burst buckers or if they're something else, but it's a well-regarded guitar. It's been, there's reviews on YouTube, and there are reviews on the internet, including YouTube, and it was the right price for me. So I now have a guitar, a solid bodied electric, that has twin humbuckers. For years now I haven't owned such a thing. I've got P90 equipped guitars, single coil pickup guitars, and yeah, I missed this sound. So it doesn't really need any work. It smells like his house did. A certain washing powder. So I'm going to have to clean it all over with probably lighter fluid or something, just to get it starting to smell like my house rather than his. The interesting or strange thing about it is it's got gold tuners, because he broke one of the original chrome plated ones and found it easier to get a whole set of gold plated. I quite like that. I like guitars with a bit of character and that are not quite perfect. Perfect guitars, and I own a couple, I don't play them. I just don't. Anyway, this is a bit of a rambling blog, and that's fine, because I'm probably going to do even more of these rambling vlogs, not blogs, vlogs, because it's a video. And I'm also going to finish off the tune, the funk tune, with something, and maybe it will be words, a poem, a rap or something around this idea of a planet that's entirely India. It's fanciful and silly, but that may not stop me. Anyway, that's enough for now. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned, especially to my Patreon channel, which you can do as a member of the public, or you can join for free. Dikran Marsupial is the name of the Patreon channel. Thank you. Goodbye.